everybody. My name is SpootyBiscuit, and I'm here to show.
Захотел плойку, купил, что вы не работаете. Ну, да, мы рестримами занимаемся.
Я раскрою тайны 21 века. Если вы хотите много денег, то пойдите и заработайте. То чего вы как это? Что ж.
Вот у кого точно готовы коленные чашечки, так это вот у этого раннера, который сейчас будет танцевать нам. Практически 2 часа.
Ну, данный товарищ профессионал. Мы с голосом свыше, скажем так, знаем этого товарища не только по StepMania.
Чувак в кругах ритм-игр вообще довольно известный.
Да. Не просто известный, а в принципе уже можно даже сказать, что является живой легендой.
Главное, чтобы обувь удобную подобрал, потому что танцевать много придется.
У него, наверное, стельки какие-то крутые стоят. По кроссовкам не скажешь.
Ну да, по кроссовкам скажешь, что кого-то с Черкизона откуда-то они там прикуплены были.
И сейчас видите, что там, знаете, вот эти металлические ставки, как в ирландских танцах.
Ну, кстати, да.
И чечетку отбивать.
Ладно, грустненько, тут ведро тебя, конечно, платит, но ты можешь пойти спать, в принципе. Расслабиться.
Да, я, наверное, сейчас пойду как раз.
Спасибо.
Ну, спасибо всем. Давайте, до свидания, спокойной ночи.
Положитесь на грустненько, да, какой-то там
Да.
канал. Чат, оператор есть.
So, everyone's probably aware of rhythm games in general by now. We saw Cross Beats earlier in the marathon. And you know games like Funkin', Osu, Dance Dance Revolution, all that stuff. So,
Великий
what
канал.
we're showcasing is NotITG, a custom engine that Taru pioneered that stems off of StepMania.
Что ж,
Правильно,
Obviously, you step on the arrows or hit your keys on your keyboard.
Спасибо, дорогие друзья. Спокойной ночи. Всем до завтра. Завтра день, напомню, где очень много популярных игр будет. Что все приходите обязательно. Спокойной ночи всем.
завтра будет день, а сейчас пока что ночь. Что ж, собственно, StepMania. Собственно, то, что вы сейчас видите на экране, примерно и будет происходить в ближайшие 2 часа.
Was a three-way collab between all of us commentators here, Tara Nuke, Halcyonics, and I, as a kind of qualifier song before everyone got into.
Если вы задаетесь немножко вопросом, почему визуально, то это максимально нечитаемо, так и надо. В этом специфика местных буткемпов. Что наш товарищ Раннер на протяжении 2 месяцев практиковал данные карты, потому что визуально на них ориентироваться крайне проблематично. Сейчас вы видите, чего люди в этом геймах добиваются на протяжении 2 месяцев.
We hope you enjoy the showcase.
Надо сказать, что там еще бэкграунд, несколько лет ритм гейм.
The overarching gimmick of the MBC3 pack of step files is that each file has an associated character. The character for this file belongs to me, but the characters were generally just
Что ж, единственный способ плюс-минус хоть как-то ориентироваться, что происходит по нотам, это исключительно смотреть по цвету. Цвет — это, по сути, единственная визуальная подсказка, которую вы увидите. Вы можете понять, над задниками люди тоже работали особо одаренные. Потому что уже прямо сейчас мы можем наблюдать, скажем так, стёба на JRPG в той или иной форме. Комбо все еще, кстати, не сбито.
So for any given file, you should be able to walk through the chart without having to spin around or get your legs tangled. I think I saw some Twitch chatters saying that. This means being able to alternate hitting one arrow with
Вуаля.
one leg.
Уже
and
пошел,
if
уже
the
пошел
action was
второй
a different
трек.
arrow, then you step it with your other leg. So it's just like walking.
Вы
So
можете
to translate
спросить,
the keyboard play, if your keybinds are on the arrow keys, you can use your index
где ведро?
fingers and just
А где
alternate
паузы
hands
между
the entire
треками?
time.
А их нет.
Knowing that these charts have good posture means that there's infinitely less guesswork, because
Вся суть
there's
данной
only
категории
so
в
many
том,
ways a chart can comfortably
что
keep its good
огромное
posture.
количество треков
So
было
it's
совмещено
pretty
в одну
essential
здоровую
to get
карту.
started with reading
То
these
есть
charts, because
у него даже не
by
будет
what you
времени
were mentioning about the
передохнуть
arrow
между
keys,
картами.
and
Он
good
вынужден
posture,
будет
you
все
can
это
stay on
проходить в
track
один
with the
присест.
foot that you're using, at least if you don't know what arrow you need to hit, or you can even keep track if you hit an arrow incorrectly. It's game over.
Oh, the game's only started.
Indeed. So by now you'll also realize that the combo number is starting to get big. So that will carry over through the whole entire marathon.
Чатик.
And Spooty's judgments as well.
Прошу на данный момент пытаться отслеживать максимальный показатель, так сказать, комбо, который будет у нашего раннера. Пока что раннер, конечно, идет без сбрасывания комбо, но за 1,5 часа, и, скорее всего, это рано или поздно произойдет.
Everything else is a miss. And we're planning actually on doing a donation based on how well Spooty performs here. So I think we're doing 1 cent for every excellent he gets, 10 cents for every great, and $1 for every miss. So hopefully you won't get too tired.
Идет карта, которую раннер называет одной из так называемых разгрузочных. Да, это одна из достаточно спокойных карт на данный момент.
The song Dreamin' of You by Jun Kuroda. You can see the alternating hidden of each of the columns to make things a little bit more complicated. Yeah, and so at the beginning and at the end as well.
Данную игру, кстати, забавный факт, настоятельно не рекомендуется играть с меньше, чем 60 FPS, потому что тогда глазу может не уловить все преобразования и трансформации, которые происходят с нотами, что левый меняется на правый, правый на левый.
I like to call the flicker effect the Atari Pac-Man effect. Because in the port of Pac-Man that was on the Atari 2600,
и вот теперь карта начинает разгоняться,
and they moved this ghost around every frame,
и тут уже начинаются трудности.
It looked like there were more ghosts than there really were, and that's sort of what we're doing. We're just moving the playfields around really fast. So this song is called Dead Ball de Home.
Да, на протяжении всех этих 1,5 часа сложность будет только нарастать.
The difficulty is already starting to increase just a little bit.
Будет от нас все дальше и дальше отдаляться. Это, конечно, сейчас была с моей стороны тавтология, но тут без нее особо-то никуда не уйти, не продвинуться.
Yeah, this chart is markedly a little bit harder than previous. It also introduces our first mini game, which I'll get to in a little bit, but those are just something that we can do in this engine now. It's
играет SpootyBiscuit на аркадном автомате, который он один раз собрал на донатах на своем стриме. Так, тем временем у нас началось голосование, будет ли комбо на 5000 плюс.
Oh gosh. So yeah, there are crossovers as well. I think this is the first song that has them.
Знаете,
Where if you watch Spooty's camera very carefully, right about now, you'll see his
я ни на что не намекаю. Я, можно сказать, что говорю прямо.
But you're still preserving your good posture, and that's what's the most important.
If you were ever wondering why the arrows were slowing down in the middle.
Я верю в Спути, я верю в то, что он это сделает, и готов на это поставить аж 15 000.
Yeah, what is this song? I actually don't remember them. Oh, that's what I remember. But yeah, I'll definitely need chat's help one more time when the time comes.
Да,
I think it's already
nudge,
slipped my
nudge.
mind.
чат.
Anyways, this is
Это не
this
Friday
is one
Night
of the
Funkin'
songs
Mod.
that utilizes a really big collection
Не
of
надо
objects in the
путать.
background, just like completely disregarding the notes. There's
Это
like a ton of
появилось
cherry blossoms, and we
заметно
can like
раньше.
literally arbitrarily put a ton of objects all over in like a big sphere and make them rotate around, giving an illusion that you're in like a cherry blossom storm. But really, it's just a lot of images going back and forth. Even like the two-player play fields are back-to-back, so that when they spin around, because the notes are only one-sided, you can still see exactly what you need to hit, regardless of however it's spinning. So Spooty will be able to pick out like these little transitions between front and back facing.
Просто можете посмотреть
Pick out what the notes are.
способ
Wait, which song are we at right now?
нажатия
So what was the song called?
клавиш,
We'll need your help,
которые
chat.
сейчас использует Спути,
I want to
называется
see the name of the
кроссфит.
song in the chat.
Потому что в ходе
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
And really
своего
quickly, this is also what you call a D-pad or directional pad.
деяния Спути меняет, скажем так, угол направления своего торса. Его торс постоянно вращается.
They're all
Now.
quickly known as D-pad.
For a small block
Right.
with a different series.
So here we have Nishi Nippori no Odori by Yu Takahashi featuring VY2. I mentioned in HP1 that was played a few songs ago that you have to read by arrow colors. Well, since I like making
Он
people
даже не
upset,
устал,
I've decided to
а
just take those away.
у него не
Here,
будет времени
Spooty
устать.
has to work out the rhythm of the
Эта
arrows
карта
purely by looking at their
длится больше
vertical
1,5
spacing,
часов.
which can only be determined as the
Если он
notes
устанет
pass through this
слишком
giant
рано, к
green
сожалению,
pickle, which can
это
move
слишком
up
быстро
and down as it wishes.
превратится в пытку,
The chart's
поэтому
also throwing in more of those crossovers I
именно
mentioned
поэтому
earlier, like
он
you can watch Spooty
это
lean over with his
практиковал
body to hit
больше
the
2
left
месяцев.
arrows with his right foot and vice versa. So this next section is quite interesting. There are always 4 arrows visible, but they're not always going to be in the standard left down upright configuration we're used to.
Вы
So
можете задать вопрос.
Spooty has to read the arrow
Тут как-то
directions
многовато
on the
Toho
individual
Project.
arrows in order to work out what notes to hit
Ответ
next.
простой.
This may or may not be a recurring theme
Комьюнити
throughout the rest of the
создателей
marathon.
вот подобных карт
And one last point, you may be
очень
wondering,
продолжительное
why is there
время
a
состояло
Toho here?
исключительно из
Well, you
ценителей
see,
этой
in the
самой
early
серии
ITG
игр.
modding community, most of us were really big Toho fans, so a lot of early ITG modded content
Так.
is literally just Toho fan work. I
Итак,
think we're gonna have time for a donation.
я умолкаю
Don't think so. I think we're gonna
и
have
жду
to-
отчетика
We'll have time for a
названия
donation
композиции.
in the next song, in the upcoming song.
Oh god, what is this?
So, yes, this is a bit of a Toho block. This is a reference to a famous 2009 Flash movie that I'm sure a lot of you have seen. I felt really inspired to just recreate the whole animation, essentially. So I just I animated all the things, I created the 3D environment, and I replaced Patchouli and Hong Meiling with the playfields, who are running away using both playfields and a combination of standard
Как вы
ITG mods
понимаете, уже
to give
идет
the illusion of them
12-я
running
минута.
away from her. Now,
Стрелка становится
they're
все
actually
хуже и
doing a bit of
хуже
bobbing and weaving.
читаемы.
They have to jump and duck under
Понять,
the
что здесь
knives
происходит,
that are
становится уже
3D
на грани реального.
that are being thrown by Sakuya. The arrows also start to get a little bit stealthy in the upcoming section as they're trying to the cat character that represents the main cast in this tournament, which was a big production.
Итак, и сейчас мы скоро приближаемся к точке 2500 комбо.
These arrows are getting a little bit hard to see, but it quickly returns to normal once Sakuya realizes that we're here.
It's a bit of a
Что ж,
figurative
полпути
As the chart
для
gets back to what it was doing earlier, we have time for a
верующих
couple donations.
пройден.
All right, so we have $50 from Lightly, who says, I've never heard of or seen StepMania before, but honestly, so excited for this exhibition and so thankful that we hit this incentive. Thank you, SpootyBiscuit, for this run, and let's get the bonus round incentive. All right, you heard them, chat. Let's get this bonus
Он
incentive going.
продолжает
Let's see those
использовать
rolling
потихонечку
in.
I
кроссфит,
promise
заметьте.
you want to see the bonus.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Доходя
amazing.
уже до
It's very
совсем экстремальных
Spooty hasn't
вариаций.
broken combo either.
У него сейчас есть примерно 10 секунд. Уже нет. На передохнуть. Если у вас есть лишние доллары, и вы можете подать подобный автомат, я настоятельно его советую как для досуга, так и для похудения, потому что, как вы можете заметить, раннер достаточно в хорошем состоянии тела и духа.
The player who's playing doesn't even really have to read the next few arrows because you've already got the muscle memory to know that when you see a diagonal line of arrows, you know, you gotta hit left, down, up, right. There's lots of things like that that the player can rely on once they get to a high level of play in this game, at least.
Pattern recognition is definitely one of the most forefront things you need to learn if you want to start playing this at a decent
Если вы
level.
боитесь ритм игр, то
Which is
на
why
самом
we
деле
recommend people start playing the base
зачем?
game,
Они
there's
не
no mods,
кусаются.
so you can build up that
Это
recognition.
все, что показывает ранее, это исключительно дело опыта.
Oh yeah, they go to Splody.
Так на самом деле может любой, кто хочет, так сказать, вкатиться в тусовку. Хотя для этого не обязательно, конечно, покупать торгующие автоматы для того, чтобы выступать в комьюнити ритм игр. Интересный факт про товарища раннера.
A choice that the modders use to
раннер
anti-mash prevention, but
известен
also not distract from any of the nodes,
не
especially
только
in this
в
lower difficulty bracket.
комьюнити ритм геймеров, но еще и в спидран комьюнити
Yeah. And that's why they're
по
represented with
одной
graphics
особенности.
This was
Данный
the first part
раннер
of our third
держит
match in the
мировой
tournament
рекорд
that
почти по
The
всем
next songs
категориям
will-
игры криптов за
sometime
никоденсом,
later we'll cover the rest of them.
что
Anyways,
является,
difficulty jump. We're moving
скажем
into the
так,
next difficulty tier of the
которая
showcase.
была
So what
задизайнена
comes
под
after tier one?
спидраны, но при этом она все же
Obviously, it's
по-прежнему является
tier
ритм игрой,
1.5.
с чем
Difficulty
слава у него
differentiated,
достаточно высока.
starting with
И
rhythmical difficulty.
на данный момент
In
в
fact,
мире
I'm
существует
pretty
всего
sure that
два
this song in particular, Hana no Motrenga by Janky,
раннера,
a
которые
remix
могут
on
ему
Yuyuko
в данной игре
Speed, is regarded as one of
что-либо
the hardest to have good
противопоставить.
accuracy on, just because all the purple notes that are very swing oriented. If you look at the receptors right now, they're doing this
Также он
little spinny dance.
активно
This is called
проводит
a black sphere. And it's named
всевозможные
after the
турниры
first
по
modded song that utilizes motion
некроденсеру и
called Black
другим
Sphere
ритм
by
играм.
Windu in
Но в
the
основном
first iteration
некроденсер
of
это основной
Moss Bootcamp.
контент его канала.
Because the columns are constantly swapping around and adjusting their vertical spacing, Spooty really has to be paying a lot of attention to both the color and the direction of the arrows to be able to read the chart.
И он все еще работает на кроссфите.
In particular, and some other assets that come up at the end of this file are all references to previous Yuyuko character mod files that have been done by other people. Kitsune, Windu are a couple that have done some in the past. We really love shouting at other creators' work if we can. And so this is also one of the few charts to have what's known as a lateral. If you watch Spooty's foot cam carefully, he'll do like an extended crossover. It'll be right about now. I might have missed it. But basically, his left foot crosses behind his body to do a
англоязычные
crossover, then his right
комментаторы
foot steps on the
в шоке
opposite side, which
от
is a
значения
lateral.
комбо.
Also, if you look at the play fields again, you'll see that they're kind of woven together to make it look like there's two separate players, but really they're just spread across the screen. Wait, was that an empty life bar that we saw?
No, he's fine.
His combo is so high. It can't have been empty.
Yeah, but why is it floating up though?
Небольшой
Random
тайбрейк.
interjection, we sometimes in the community call lateral Scoobies because
Небо-
if you do
небольшой
them really
перерыв
fast,
на-
they look like the gif of Scooby-Doo and Shaggy running.
Yeah.
All right, so
Stay
this next
curated,
one,
please.
Ayakashi Kakushi by DJ Toto featuring 3L, is one of my favorites, honestly, game design-wise. I'm really happy with this concept. What it essentially is, it's teaching a concept called chunking, where basically you have to read, the playfield will be visible quite clearly, and you have to read the next 8 or so arrows while the playfield disappears off
Продолжаем
screen and
наслаждаться
reappears somewhere else or in a different, slightly
саундтреком.
less readable configuration. You should still have that buffer from those 8 arrows you read while everything was normal. And it also builds into a concept called context switching, which it ties into chunking quite nicely, because a context switch is basically switching which playfields you're reading
Я рад за еще одного из зрителей, который может позволить себе еще подобные игрища. Обычно подобные ритм-игры можно найти в залах аркадных автоматов. Особенно это, конечно, все распространено в Японии, но на территории постсоветского пространства также, на моей памяти, имеется что-то схожее.
Quite well before you. Oop, that one's flipped. You're gonna
There's a little bit of a cheeky jump.
Here's a bunch of crossovers in a row if you haven't seen this form yet.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep we've introduced all these things in a quote unquote safe environment. And you're gonna be thrown into a burning building.
Это последняя композиция из блока Tauhou Project. После этого Tauhou треки закончатся.
Yeah, get some water.
Good hydration break.
Hydration check for everyone.
So this is a
После этого нас ждут другие.
Yep. No more Touhous after this, except for the part when I lied. This one is mostly about context switching as well, but here it's much more explicit about it. As Nue passes behind a playfield, that playfield will literally not
Чё стример улыбается, потому что стример сейчас находится в максимальном напряжении. Человек 20 минут без остановки танцует ногами. Ему еще примерно 1,5 часа придется заниматься тем же самым. Он экономит свои силы.
So for this file, I basically just used a bunch of ideas that Windu used and a bunch of ideas that I used in our separate files, and we both represented both like iterations of the character in the ITG community. So you got the UFOs from Touhou UFO. But we do have time until the end of the song for probably 2 donations, I would say.
All right, I got you. We have $30 from Jinx,
Да,
who says,
игра настолько сложная, что Спути, достаточно оптимистичный разговорчивый человек, сейчас полностью молчит и сфокусирован на происходящем. Не все, что он исполняет, это, естественно, и что-то из этого он все же пытается разглядеть в экране, а не только по памяти. Что нот слишком много, и просто так вы все не запомните. Тем временем, кстати, мы приближаемся медленно к отметке 5000.
With no strings attached, and we tried our best to continue that practice for MBC3 for maximum accessibility. Who knows, we might see some technology later on. This gimmick right here, where the receptors drop towards notes, is called a driven drop. In the original
Да, кто не понял, это не спидран, это exhibition. Грубо говоря, она просто разбавляют атмосферу с помощью особого контента, который является достаточно увлекательным.
Two separate playfields share receptors with each other in the center to create a new playfield, left and up from player 1, down and right to player 2. The chart here also gets a bit denser with some decently speedy 16th bursts, as you can see. The notes separating here also forces you to read ahead and chunk them, a technique we covered earlier during Ayakashi Kakushi. And if you think you have a keen eye, maybe you can
Ответ на вопрос, как эти самые ноты считывают, по большей части ориентируются на цветовую гамму.
A bracket is a technical term for hitting 2 panels with 1 foot simultaneously, and it's called a bracket because you step on the
ноты вертикальные, ноты горизонтальные имеют разную цветовую гамму, и за счет этого он, скажем так, быстро отсеивает в своей голове неверные варианты того, что сейчас придет. О, на 4600.
really silly place to drop my combo.
Oh wait, no, it's $1.
Unlucky. It's okay. A seagull has decided to antagonize Spooty now.
New Dike.
So the song is a little bit tangy, if you get my drift.
Мышечный спазм
The joke is
в
that
районе левой
the song
икры.
is Citrus by Kamo Mesano.
Отправил
And here you
его
have the
набирать
chunk
комбо с
of
нуля.
God. So even in this intro, Spooty's kind of picking out the sequence of jumps and notes that are happening and getting it in his head really quickly before they're at the receptors because
Но ничего.
it's really hard to react.
У него
once
еще
they're
есть возможность
doing their
набрать
thing.
5000.
So you can see all these notes as the playfields are spinning are just fading to white, and that makes Spooty do the same exact thing pretty much. Yes, the
Вот,
chunk
кстати, на
really
ком,
hard,
кстати, в
so
моменте
that he
чата
can, A,
у
hit
него
the notes,
сбилась комбо.
and B, find
Подскажите,
exactly
пожалуйста.
where they are when they come back up, and then
На
be able to
4700?
continue processing the chart. Yeah. There's also, as you probably may have come to expect, a continued expansion and growth of ideas in each of these files, how it evolves and changes over the course of each song. Like, this whole time, the playfields have been, like, spinning around. You can see this nice little water wheel that culminated from
Ну да ладно, у нас
the
еще целых
previous
1,5
chunking
часа впереди.
spinning thing.
5000, он, думаю, наберет.
And of course, the fade-outs and the expansion of game design continues, where the notes literally just go away.
Но это с учетом того, что, опять же, треки становятся только
One clap
сложнее.
from chat, please.
Clap
У нас,
emoji.
конечно, больше нету такого проекта, но
Okay, we got that squared away.
сложность все будет возрастать. Он в определенный момент Спути, скорее всего, просто начнет будет набирать обороты. Будет использовать более экстремальные техники по нажатию клавиш.
There are a ton of people in Discord.
We are watching you.
All right.
Oh boy.
It is time for Snow Motion by Kofu. This is Puro's first file. So Puro is another contributor to Mods Bootcamp 3. Puro is a demo scener from Finland who is currently studying like film production actually, and is just all-around excellent visual designer. This is the first NotITG file, like NotITG exclusive file. All the files up to this point are playable in OpenITG.
Вы можете видеть люди, которые работали над визуалом задников в данном паке. Люди достаточно интересные, с оригинальными мыслями.
They're made of ice.
It's just something Puro felt he was able to do, so he implemented it. We got blur effects. We got transparent holds. It's really a visual treat. This file.
Да. Кстати, чтобы вы понимали, вся вот эта вот солянка карта была создана общей корпорацией модераторов комьюнити данной StepMania. То есть это большой коллаб всей модерации StepMania.
And it's, I mean, at its core, it's just StepMania with more stuff you can do. So the end of the song is pretty much just the beginning of the song, but slightly more complicated. So we got time for a donation.
All right.
В любом случае, путь в 1000 миль начинается с первого шага.
The NotITG scene is an awesome testament to the amazing things a community can achieve together. So many wonderful people have come together to inspire each other and create some truly incredible experiences, both to play and watch. You definitely want to see all this, so let's meet that bonus incentive.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Absolutely. Very well said, too.
You got some science. No. We got some Koihado by... This artist title is really long, so I'm just going to say Tomosuke, because that's who it is. So, starting off, we got a little bit of a physics engine that I decided to put together. You got some playfields that have, like, Vox 2G attached to them, and we're going straight into Rhythm Heaven. Just throwing a quick reference. I decided... Why not, right? We got physics, we got conveyor belts. Let's put it in.
Я, кстати, думал, что это надо было сообщить 30 минут назад. Но все же, граждане, страдающие эпилепсией, прошу воздержаться от просмотра данного продукта. Он может иметь на ваше здоровье негативный эффект.
That's a really hard technique to actually play, so I actually don't put those in a lot of my charts, even at high level. But if the density is low enough, it's fine, really. Especially at this level.
Но если что, у Спути выносливость крайне высокая. С выносливостью он практикует годами и тренирует. Игра, которую можно увидеть на его стриме чаще, чем Microdensor, это Ring Fit Adventure.
Like wavy flying stuff, DDR2014 background.
A bit of a throwback.
Кстати, уже первую 1000 мы набрали заново.
One donation.
All right, I got you. We have $50 from Good Guy 3, who says, if this is the regular run, I have got to see what the heck extra super difficult entails. Let's meet that incentive.
And going a banger alert throws right into tier 2, aka the tiebreaker for tier 1.5 is destroyed by you. This is where you start to see more of a drastic difficulty increase, where the mods get harder to read and the chart gets more dense. And to highlight this curve, Spooty has less breathing room to miss because life bar is on. From a full life bar, 10 consecutive misses will fail you, and you cannot regain life unless you have over 10 combo. And just when you think the Tohos were gone, Tensi jumps out and punches you in the face with arrows and makes quite a few mocks on your screen just because
Поэтому, если вам в определенный момент надо будет отойти за чаем, отойдите, вы ничего страшного не пропустите.
And during the drop, we get sent to the ether, an ether that's a direct reference to the file Seismo, a file that Windu made as a final stage to Windu Hates You 401k, where the character featured in that stage was also Tenchi. With all these references and callbacks, you may be able to infer how deep-rooted the mod scenes is in his history. As we start to reach the peak of the file here, the receptor sharing gimmick from Vigor with a different receptor configuration comes back, combined with hard-to-see crossovers and a quick 16th burst, all the while continuously swapping between up scroll and down scroll. And see, Tenchi has such a ball destroying you.
Всегда можно через определенные ресурсы пытаться данную композицию пробить.
But I thought it was too goofy to not keep, so I just kept it.
Really?
And by the way, this is a nice
soothing outro. Nice soothing outro to alleviate the concussion you just suffered. But now for something completely harmless with the world's largest asterisk. Taro, take us on a journey.
Yes, this one! So this one's Planet Journey by Yusuke featuring Itsuki Natsume. Hal had made this
Мы
file
успеем
and it didn't have a
посмотреть
background, and he
еще
was just like, I need a background for this one. I was
в ходе
like, I got
данной
you.
игры
And I disappeared into my cave for like 5 days and just
мультипликацию от
put together
независимых
this like
авторов.
pump it up style music video for this song featuring these little aliens that go to they visit all these planets. And if you look at all the planets, you can see some
Some of them may or may not be planets. We don't know.
You never know. It could still be a planet.
Yeah, Crouton's a planet. Yeah, okay.
Crouton.
So this file also introduces teal notes. They're generally considered in the ITG community as the funny arrows because teal generally just means unquantized.
Тут немножко объясняет, что цвет мод еще имеет влияние на, скажем так, их ритм и скорость. И вот зеленый является самым непредсказуемым, у них нет никакого паттерна.
Not to convince you to change them because we're considering having them as 16ths, because they're just really hard and I can't do them.
But the thing is that at this BPM, 96 swing, which is what this is, 96 swing at this BPM, hitting that as a 16th note will still give you a fantastic, because 96 and 16ths in this context are only 0.042 milliseconds apart, which is way less then the fantastic window is like
You don't
wide.
have to hit them a swing.
No.
Random лог по Влади.
What do you mean you don't have to do them?
It's easy. Just
О, нас ждет в ближайшем будущем
Anyways, we're going to another mini block.
блок My Little Pony.
Oh, this one. This is a fan favorite. This song is called Random Box by Lottie. This is the start of, I promise you it's only 2 songs long, the My Little Pony block. So, a character from season 2 of My Little Pony, Discord, appears in a stained glass window. And I really like that. So I vectored it in Flash, animated it in Flash, and wrote a little script to port the Flash animation to Lua, so I could just import it into StepMania and have him dance around the screen while moving the background. It fits the song really well. It looks really funny.
Тут говорят, что чем дольше будет длиться, тем больше он будет уставать. Но дело в том, что на данный момент для него это все еще разминка. Его выносливость абсолютно запредельная. Тут другое дело, что карта становится сложнее. Отсылки на другие ритм-игры.
And now we're gonna start throwing him in all willy-nilly. Just back to back.
And you just gotta deal with it.
You just gotta deal with it. He gives you a bit of a break here, which gives us a bit of a break for a donation.
All right, we have $250 from Jojo Story, who says, "It was hard to tear my eyes away for a moment, but I had to, so I could donate for the StepMania bonus round. We need more of this mind-melting run." You are so right, Jojo.
Let's go.
The
So the
box isn't done though.
Oh god, Legend of Zelda. Oh god, car.
Car?
Get some cars in the chat.
Legend of Zelda jump scare.
You want
Car?
Shoutouts to Mr. Box in a Box for the car graphics and the Legend of Zelda graphics. And for the next song in the My Little Pony block, the next and final song in the My Little Pony block, we have a character file for Pinkie Pie and Vinyl Scratch, Trigger Happy by P-Light. This features lots of references to Windu and Ken files. Minty Dragon, who actually donated earlier and had his comment
Последняя
read.
композиция из MLP блока.
Yeah. So we
Да,
got,
MLP
we got
блок
the
достаточно
grooves
короткий
from Vinyl
получается.
Scratch as she moves the playfields as if they're actually records in a way that fits the music just perfectly, honestly. And then we got references to Mods Bootcamp 2 that actually also featured this song, but as part of the medley for the end of Mods Bootcamp 2. And we have to shout out to Condor.
И скажите мне в следующий раз, насколько сложно ваш Dark
This
Souls.
is the KAC medley reference section. This is actually quite tough to read if you don't know what you're doing.
Because it turns white and you lose color info for a bit.
Spooty, fortunately, absolutely does know what he's doing.
He does play the video game.
And now it's time for Pinkie Pie's section. Here she just changes the text on the judgments and makes the screen go all sugar rush. Spooty's not going to be getting any judgments less than fantabularific, I don't think. Oh,
They were super duper.
You had to say something.
all right, we got time for a quick donation.
All right, we have $25 from Squiddy, who says, "Love seeing the funny arrows being stomped. Always so visually appealing." Thanks, Squiddy.
I concur.
Party cannon.
That sounds pretty dense. A lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right. So it's not just My Little Pony we like to reference. For some reason, UKSRT 3, which was run by me in 2013, was based on Neon Genesis Evangelion. So this song's character is Kaoru Nagisa from Evangelion, and I just picked a
Если вы
song
задаете
that I
вопрос,
sort of
почему
that I really
комментатор
felt like
молчит,
fits the
ответ
character.
простой. У комментатора заболели
I also
глаза на
used
секунду.
a cover that has a different cut of the song because the cut that they used in Sound Voltex, which is where all of the songs in Mods Bootcamp 3 actually came from, cut out my favorite part of the song, which is the part that is coming up after this, I would say. While we wait for that to start, and when it starts going on, the part with all the sensor beeps, that is, we have time for a donation.
For sure, we have $50 from Bookworm42, who says, one of the highlights of online events is always the Rhythm Game Showcase. Great job so far, SpootyBiscuit, and good luck with the rest of the songs. Let's get the bonus incentive. Let's
Мы
get it,
снова
Bookworm.
зашли на территорию 1000.
I really hope we get the bonus.
Hopoco just kind of shows up for a second. Don't worry.
I actually almost forgot you put that in the file.
I legitimately forgot.
Небольшой
I put it in
успокаивающий
there,
хаос
and I
предпринят.
put it in
Годится.
there.
You baited yourself. How do you feel?
Baited?
Fair enough. Have a nice day.
Just a nice bit of chaos before the end of the song as we wrap this one up.
Понимаете, если вы боитесь то, что происходит на экране, вы посмотрите, что сейчас творится у раннера в районе ног.
Yeah, no, there are definitely no mines to worry about coming up.
Yeah. Because the song's over right here, obviously.
Watch out for this one.
Watching that live is so good because people like launch themselves.
Не каждый человек столько шагов за жизнь сделал, сколько раннер сейчас сделал движений.
Yeah.
And now for some untrustworthy notes.
Yeah.
This is Junkmania. I believe my second file that I made for this. It features a GUI cat called Tack, made by Tetes. This file will showcase some of the trickery that we can pull with StepMania, especially with OpenITG. Some of the tech that we use to pull off these effects can be a little bit more complicated than if we were putting it in NotITG because of how like the differences in resources in the engine. And we're going to be seeing that really soon.
Right about now.
Right about
so
here.
this is where we lie to you for the first time, where the arrows are scrolling up and they're pointing in the absolute wrong directions right before they hit the receptor. So you have to actually read by column there instead of by the arrow direction.
Это, кстати, уже
Something that's made really easy in
топ-2
NotITG.
комбо на
We have
данный момент.
ways to actually spin the arrows in NotITG, but in
Его
OpenITG
второй
there's
комбо, который
actually
заходит за
not really any
1500.
good way, so it's very much of like a janky workaround to get
Я
that to
все еще
work.
надеюсь, что это будет комбо, которое
If you saw
зайдет
the
не за
receptors
1,5, а за
flashing
5.
really fast, it's because the mod that was used is rotating the notes based on the beat. And in order to position the notes so that they're in multiples of 360, so that they're pointing in directions that are sensible, we use stops, which basically stops the rotation in their tracks in accordance to the BPM. And we can control note rotation that way in OpenITG.
1700 combo.
Kanashibari
Into
no
a haunted
Ai wo. Yeah. Kanashibari no Ai wo by Harunaba. So the previous file kind of did actually lie to you. This one doesn't lie to you. I mean, you can see that the arrows are in the correct places once the playfield starts spinning. But actually, let's talk about this rolling fade effect. There are actually two playfields, and the visible region is scrolling down as the visible region on each playfield is scrolling down.
Да.
So you have to
Тут уже
soft
тернин
context
начался
switch,
выкалывать
essentially.
блок.
But now we get to the rotation. Now you can see that the arrows you have to hit don't change, but it's upside down. I still sort of make little mistakes here because you have to just train your brain to hit the wrong arrow compared to what you see essentially.
If a playfield's rotated upside down, like in here, the notes are not counter-rotated, so you have to do that counter-rotation in your head.
Тут поясняю, что название композиции некая фантазия.
Talk about the project.
Oh, the projector strat. So there was a file called Necrophantasia, which did
Идея
very much this
так
effect, except it was a
называемой
constant spiraling rotation. So there was a developed
движение, что здесь
projector
происходит,
strap, where you
называют
play this
прожектор.
game on a projector,
Когда
and
вы
have someone hold
якобы
up the projector and start rotating it
проецируете на
counter
проектор
so that you could read the
картину, и потом начинаете
correctly as
этот
it
самый проектор двигать
Bit
для
of a
себя.
cheese strap,
Собственно,
but
что и
hey,
симулирует
you
руки.
do what you gotta do to get the clear.
Oh, big lateral there.
Alternatively, you can just do a handstand
Вот
every single time.
сейчас
something
идет
like
очень
that
сложный
comes up.
момент.
Oh,
I think
you
that's a
would
bit
do that,
effective.
Nike. Yeah, you would. I saw you rotating your whole head while you were playing Golden Rule.
It helped. Oh boy, guess what?
It's time for some juggling.
Oh no.
Но мы прошли этот сложный
This is the
момент.
big
У
difficulty
нас еще
spike,
ждет нож,
honestly.
это не
We
менее
recently
сложно.
uprated this to 11, just because so many people were complaining about it. It's
It's deceptively hard.
extremely non-standard.
Небольшая разгрузка.
You basically have to hit the notes by reading what arrow is on the juggler's box
А теперь заново
to
почуть.
trigger that juggler to bounce the ball in order to not drop the combo. And the charts that aren't in that are just really the parts of the chart that aren't in that are just really dense, and they have these really wacky rhythms with several consecutive green notes that don't have any other notes around them. That makes it pretty hard to keep the rhythm going because you got to go like ba ba da ba 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 da, and people's brains don't do that normally when listening
Yeah,
to
really,
music.
it really stretches your brain muscles to like actively keep in time with the music.
We got a quote-unquote normal section of chart for a bit, so we got a donation read moment.
Мы приближаемся заново
For
к копейке
sure. So we
2500
have
комбо.
$25 from Mr. Sun, who says, "The first time I was exposed to mod charts, I was hooked. Such a creative way of playing a rhythm game. Let's dance to prevent cancer." Thank you, Mr. Sun.
Also, be sure to get those donations in for the bonus at the end.
Это было
Because
слишком
I
жестоко
really
даже
promise.
по меркам
40%.
крокодилов.
It's
Yeah,
like
so we still need just under $30,000 to hit that bonus incentive. So let's see those coming in. Every dollar counts, whether it's $5, $50. We love to see it coming in.
Yeah, no, this is super important, guys. This is an 11. You're gonna want to see the 20.
Yeah. And for the ending, more bucks.
Yeah.
yeah.
Легкая разгрузка перед настоящим
Tier
аннигиляцией.
3.
Time to cry exactly 3 tears.
Ignore the combo spinning around. Ooh, but everything, it feels like everything up to now is like happy fun and games, and now we're in tier 3. And things are getting a little spicy. So this song is C18H27NO3, otherwise known as Capsaicin by Team Grimoire. And oh gosh, the difficulty goes up so high. So out of all the tier 3s in this event, there was one
Это
that was passed
абсолютно
during the live event. Only one.
издевательский
It was this
момент,
one.
потому что
So
у вас
this
теряются
relies on
абсолютно
heavily,
горизонтальные линии.
ignoring the horizontal spacing of the
У
notes
вас-
because all the columns are gone and only reading based on the arrow
Поэтому вам
direction. But
можно
because
ориентироваться
of how the
исключительно
fast-
по
because of
направлению
how
стрелок,
fast
но
the song
направление
is and the way
стрелок
the arrows
настолько
occasionally
быстро, что
rotate into an incorrect direction,
Спути должен
Spooty has
взять
to be
свои игры в кулак
absolutely on his toes,
и
as he is. The entire
Quite literally.
watching
показать
the play fields
невероятную
as they spiral across the
концентрацию
screen. By the way, there
и
is a
координацию
crossover in
ног
there.
со своим головным
I'm sure
мозгом.
It just happened. It was like,
Anyways, this middle section is a callback to Mods Bootcamp 2, where the final song had a section that did similar mods to this song, Panicholic. Most notably, this is
Слушай,
probably the
данная
hardest
секция много
section
кого убивает,
to score
поэтому-
on because of those jackhammers, or jacks for short. Those are those repeated
Сейчас
notes.
я так
But,
подозреваю,
oh gosh, those jacks are so
воспользоваться ей
fast that
как
you
способом
have to hit
немножко
at least,
расслабиться,
actually exactly 7 stomps a
разгрузить
second
слегка
to
свой
get perfect
стресс
accuracy.
и
I think
начать
this is pretty
комбо
much expected
заново
there in
уже
a run.
с
And then we have
чуточку
the ending, which is
с
just
более
a-
свежими силами головы.
look at this you're making deal with.
Знаю, что
There's
данная
actually
секция
a
все же уже
big
посадила.
playfield in the center.
Vague.
Tend to just
The
read
receptors
everything.
are-
Да, я все еще пытаюсь убедить, что комбо
The
5000
receptors are moving back and forth
будет в
across the
конце.
screen. They're dipping down, and it's just like you latch onto something. There are
Я
boxes in
я
there to make
фантаст,
your
дайте
reading life a
мечтать.
little bit easier, but Spooty still handled that pretty well. He's keeping
Но в любом
140
случае,
combo coming out of this.
это
That's
топ-2
pretty
комбо
impressive.
было на данный момент.
Where are we going now?
So we're gonna take a trip to a location. I forgot where we're going, but I'm sure I will
Unspecified
remember in a few
location.
beats. Right now, where are we? Gorge. So, this is an effect I like to call a wall. It's not a proxy wall yet.
Almost.
This is a wall, and I mean, I feel like the name is pretty self-explanatory. It's literally just a big wall of notes. But the hard thing about walls is knowing when one playfield starts and another ends. It can get quite difficult, so that's where the chunking that I mentioned earlier also comes in. Like, once you have a playfield, it's very good to remember as much of it as you can, like, that you saw, because it can be very useful if you lose your place, which does tend to happen a lot in proxy walls, or walls of any kind.
Chat, we're gonna run out of timing. I want you to type the word gorge in chat. Don't send it yet. I'll count you off.
You gotta be pretty careful not to lose your place in these driven drops, which are back. Gorge. And we go back into the gorge. We have another wall. The notes are rotating a little bit. They're also slowing down
Кстати,
and speeding
жалостно
up
на то,
just a
что
little
Спути
bit.
не
Not too
улыбается.
much.
Вот посмотрите,
I'd
ну-ка,
say
до
it's still
человек
pretty
пошла.
hard though. This is a 13 out of
Человек
20.
заиграл
We do have time for one
некий
quick
азарт.
donation.
All right, we have $25 from Reacts, who says, just wanted to shout out and thank NotITG and the whole crowd behind it for paving the way for mod charts in dozens of rhythm games following it. All of you have done wonders for the rhythm game scene as a whole. Thanks, React.
Please, we need to get this. We need to see the extra stuff. Please.
Where are we at with that now?
44%.
Oh,
22K.
we're getting there.
First DLC file here. So this file wasn't actually played in the main tournament. This was released after the tournament finished, after we had cleaned up a bunch of stuff. And yeah, I think this is our only DLC file as of currently right now, this instant.
Yep. So,
Yep.
I decided I'm gonna directly reference Sound Voltex here. I created those with I just hand wrote that geometry and hand wrote a quote-unquote Voltex.
Да, те, кто не знает, стрелки он частично читает, частично по памяти. Данную двухчасовую композицию он практиковал на протяжении последних 2 месяцев.
Here is probably the worst gimmick I've introduced to the meta. I'm not a fan, and I'm the one that did this to all of us. But I introduced a gimmick where you have a red playfield, you have a green playfield and some red ones. On the red playfield, literally just a fake chart. If you start reading that, you'll die instantly because you just won't be hitting the arrows that are actually in the chart. And once I opened that Pandora's box of game design, people just started putting them in charts, and now I hate it. I don't stop it.
The true feelings have arrived.
And now
And with every iteration of this, more playfields getting added.
Yeah, there's 5 now. I just kind of got rid of the flashing, so you got to remember the first one that flashed. Keep that one in your mind. Here's more red arrows coming up. They're also not spinning.
Англоязычный комментатор пытается понять, когда это было при последней композиции, или все же у нас
fake arrows come in from the top, and the gaps in the arrows become where the real arrows were. Spooty quickly does a spin.
Totally necessary spin, by the way.
And the last Toho, I
point.
think, is defeated.
The last one? Wait, really? Are there more?
Maybe.
You sound excited.
This is Sailing Force by Penorari, and I think this is probably my best file from this entire event. Does a lot of unconventional things that don't seem like natural occurrences within it's the base game of ITG. Things that you normally see in NotITG exclusively. Like, how many playfields was that now? It's actually only 2. Since again we have exact access to only 2 playfields in OpenITG. But all the zoom effects are done in such a way that it makes it look like so many more. So if you pause at any time, you'll only see 2 playfields, I promise you. But yeah, this is the only tier that was passed during the live event, and this is still hard with the rhythms that have definitely bumped up in density alongside of the mods, where it's basically oscillating. The playfields are doing a wave, because it's Sailing Force, and then it goes really fast.
2 playfields.
But yeah,
remember, only 2.
We're now underwater.
Yeah, sometimes when the song calls for it, there is breaks in difficulty like this. but it definitely depends on the song itself. You gotta attune the mods to the song as closely as possible, because then you can go to like the ramp up section where you move at hyperspeed again. But yeah, like a nice ballad won't have an intense effects or anything like that. And one of the only slowdowns in this, making it even harder to time, and a speed up into the end, where it literally speeds up to max speed, where the speed of the playfields match up somehow perfectly to let you grasp exactly what the notes are as they're flying past at max speed.
Oh boy!
Oh no!
I'm sorry that everyone has to listen to this. So, this character is a fan favorite.
It's pretty iconic in the community.
Я постарался...
Who has possessed you,
Я немножко постарался повторить движениями Спути. Мне кажется, у меня теперь на одну ногу меньше.
There's a red and green playfields right now that's going on that gimmick that we talked about.
But anything you want to say about the character, Daiki?
Oh, of course. I love Shane. Like, I really love Shane.
Like, how much?
Like, a lot.
Everyone is going to put you out to pasture. I hope you know that.
Anyways, a lot of references to UKSRP 8, the tournament where Shane debuted in. Like this Shane Cube, as we call it.
Which is a reference
like you just
to
realized the joke.
We got
when
D-pads in the Shane Cube.
This D-pad, when I first saw it, I was crying laughing. Because that's a wiggle it does.
Janky. This one is obviously not ITG. I say obviously, but I mean, there's a lot going on here, so really, it's definitely some of the technology of all time been put to good use on this kind of song. It's almost over. We're almost done here.
The intensity is going to start ramping up pretty soon.
As if it already hasn't.
As we start inching towards the upper end of the scale. Speaking of upper end of the scale, get those donations in for the bonus at the end. Very scary content waiting at the end of that road, so if you want to see it, get them in. Now this song is Cloud9 by Yunosuke, which is my NotITG specific file, which is kind of an obligation. Featuring a character named Kyo, who I made a long time ago before this. What you're going to mostly see here is a showcase of some amazing artwork. I'll get to that in a second. Super tricky transitions and speedy column swaps with some funky rhythms on the side. But the main thing I want to touch on is how pretty this file is. I mean, it's not my doing, actually. It's all thanks to the various artists that we have contact with, one of which is on the couch with us right now at Taro Nuke. And an S-tier artist by the name of Armao, who contributed to brief background shots of the character in question. You might have seen that at the very beginning of the file. The power that these two bestowed on this file really helped push it to what it's really meant to be. And I consider this my formal thanks for that, because I don't think I actually ever thanked you.
Aw.
For example, the light masses in the background is Taro's doing is to represent a bunch of fireflies.
Light masses?
Fun fact, those have a specific abbreviation that we legally cannot say, but if you figure it out, we're not sorry.
Light masses.
And to this extent, I believe, this truly exemplifies how much the StepMania mods are an art form notion rings true, because with an incredibly flexible game engine like NotITG, you have complete freedom to implement your ideas and represent the song in ways that are unique to you. Much like in drawing or music production, everyone in the community has a style that you're able to immediately associate with them, whether it be artistry, motion design, charting rhetoric, whatever wacky new thing the community comes up with. It's all amazing to see.
Right.
Ooh, what are those notes doing?
Dark Matter by Yo. You probably immediately noticed that's not how arrows are supposed to look. Well, this is another file from our Finnish graphics programmer, film studio, film studies major, Puro, and he just wrote and used a lot of shaders along with his boyfriend Coot, and they generally just brought this file the graphics that it deserves. So we have...
They smashed it with this file, quite literally actually, because playfields are getting smashed against the wall.
Kuro's bear character Karhis was animated by me punching the playfields into the walls. And I don't know, it just really shows his strength. There's a more shader funny happening right now.
Speaking of shaders, special shout out to FMS Cat who implemented native shader support in NotITG, which allowed all of this to be possible. Custom fragment shaders and vertex shaders. They really do anything you want.
Комментатор живее всех живых. Комментатор просто пал в состоянии гипноза.
As they hit the ceiling, and the arrows aren't supposed to do that. While we wrap back to previous, we have time for more donations. Let's get that donation, Matt.
All right, we have $25 from Angela H. who says, Spooty, are you a StepMania god?
Да главное, мы
I
пережили
have to
большую
donate
часть.
toward the extra hard charts because I can't
Это
even
безобразие.
imagine what they look like. We're well on our way, everyone.
Я уже
Let's
не
see those
нервничаю
donations
за
roll
свои
in.
15 тысяч поинтов, что я поставил за то, что комбо 5000 будет.
Overarching
Я уже
storyline where
готов
everyone
смириться
gets
с
possessed,
случаем с
and that's why they're all
их
character
потерей.
files. Also, overall.
Просто потому
This one
что
in particular was after everyone has
ценность
been
данного
cleansed, and you're
приключения
doing some
абсолютно
warm-up
того стоила.
exercises. All right, Spooty, feet shoulder width apart. Make sure your scroll speed is okay. You're not holding the bar, which is good. You're not a cheater, and we can go on.
Bro, you actually just did that.
Yeah. So pretty much the character talks throughout the whole thing. And oh, there was a crossover there. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that can carry commentary if everyone just reads what's on the screen. So I have time for a lot of donations. Maybe a couple, actually.
All right, let's get these in. $50 from CVTCS, who says, I feel like these commentators and I have vastly different opinions on what lower difficulty bracket means. Happy to see StepMania, NotITG showcased at GDQ. Loving the exhibition, and let's get that extra hard bonus incentive.
Where are we at on that exactly?
We are sitting at $33,000 out of $50,000. It has been jumping up, so let's see those donations roll in. We can still do it, everyone.
You'll have to see it. Also, the incentive has to be met before the run is over. So.
Yeah, we got we got like 8-ish songs left. So we really gotta start.
Yeah, we're getting over to the end.
Yeah,
we need
we're
to
getting
kick
up to
that
the
into
end.
high gear.
Kick that into high gear. Share it with everyone. You want these 20s. It's important. Builds character.
All right, I think we can warm down though. Are you ready?
Just kidding.
Inhale, 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 inhale,
inhale.
Done. Exhale.
So yeah, there was a haunted house in there. We'll explain that in a little bit, in a couple songs now. But we're in tier 4 now. Here we go.
This song is called Hymn. It is by Zut, and it is from Puppet Music, and it was crossed over into Sound Voltex. This is a huge difficulty jump. The previous tier, tier 3, contained 12s, 13s, and 14s. This is a 16. The 16
on throws you in.
On the 20-part scale. There's something really special about the feeling of playing a 16 plus for the first time, and it just throws you into the worst gimmick you've ever seen in your life abruptly and tells you to just read it. It's called tier 4 because that's how many tears you're gonna cry when you have to play these in a tournament bracket. This was the grand finals of Mods Bootcamp 3. Well, this was the first song of the grand finals of Mods Bootcamp 3. And it really, it takes everything that you've seen up in the tournament so far to its logical extreme, really. Like, the difficulty is at max.
Комментатор расскажет то, что в основном ранее все же считывает, а не запоминает наизусть. То есть что-то он, конечно, помнит по памяти мышечной, но в основном все это он выполняет в связи с тем, что он банально
the direction of the notes, the horizontal and vertical spacing. It all sort of comes together. The foot parity, so you can make very educated guesses on which arrow is next, because it can only logically be a few possible spots.
Теперь
But
не
we do have
поступил
time for
смешной
another
донат.
donation.
All right, we have
Донатик говорит, что он планировал заплатить по доллару за
I decided to donate $1 per
каждый
note in Spooty's
за
longest combo
продолжительность
during the
самого длинного
showcase,
комбо.
but I was
Он
starting to
понял,
become
что
legitimately
Spooty
worried
быстро
that he was going to drain my
полностью
entire
кошелек.
bank account. Mad respect to
Поэтому
Spooty for
присылает всего
continuing
лишь
to
20.
perform seemingly inhuman acts of gaming, and mad respect to him and all of the other runners, volunteers, staff, commentators, and everyone else who continues to support an important organization doing important work. P.S. Please, Spooty, don't pull off an even longer combo. My wallet is begging you.
Got the shooting stars at the end.
Unreal.
Yeah, you got to read the reflection of the shooting star notes in the lake. That was one of my favorite effects to write. It was also one of the first effects I wrote for MBC3 as a whole.
Ooh, call out post.
And Windu,
Hello, Windu.
one of the mod's
Got the big
pioneers.
announcement. Shoutouts to Windu, one of the original pioneers of the
that's
ITG
supposed to
modding scene as a whole, alongside Brother Mojo, Darklink, and a few others I'm probably forgetting to mention right now. This file is basically a condensation of Windu's entire, at this point, 15 or 16 year ITG modding career. We basically just took all of his files and compressed it down into 2 minutes. There is literally one reference every 4 beats, sometimes more.
Yeah.
This whole file is just a giant love letter to him and all he's done for this community.
Yeah. He's made a lot of content.
Yeah, and influenced plenty of us. Like, like even seeing this brings back so many memories of like Windu's old work, and this background in particular.
Yeah, it's like just stock footage you bought from like.
Yeah, but it's like those strong associations. Oh, and so haunted house jumps. It's when you'll see this right now. This will explain it.
There it is. Right
Вот
there.
эта секция на удивление
Yeah,
простая,
like an
потому
up
что
down, but then it's
это,
a
наверное,
left
самая
right.
простая в чтении.
Yeah.
Хотя она
You
выглядит как не должна быть, но на
really
деле
see
это
how
самая
long this
простая в
community's been
чтении
going on for if you
того,
really
что
dig deep into where all these
тут
effects came from.
происходит.
This is one of my favorite effects in this whole thing.
За это все те, кто
It's so
пережили
readable, even though it
это
doesn't look like it should be
испытание,
readable
полюбили
to
эту
a
секцию.
practice time.
Yeah. All right, one more donation.
All right, we have $200 from Anonymous, who says, putting some money down for the StepMania bonus round. Thanks to all the staff for the great event so far, and let's get to 2 million for that door reveal. Thank you, Anonymous.
Yeah,
Thank you, Anonymous.
I also want to know what's behind that door.
I do too.
What's behind door
Интересный
number
факт.
All right.
Данный контроллер, который он
Got
использует для
more
игры
raves
StepMania,
by
он
egg.
использует,
You
когда
may
есть
or may not
SpootyBiscuit,
have
использует
seen
не
the
только для
groove
StepMania.
coaster before. Well, I got really
Для
bored one day and decided
некоторых
to
ритм игр он также
entirely
задействует
recreate the
именно
whole
эту
3D
площадку.
environment background animation.
Например, для того же некоденсера
for
он
Gumbo
иногда
Raves, using nothing but a
становится
text
на эту
editor and a
площадку
lot of free time.
и пытается
Because,
пройти игру
model rips
с
were not
помощью,
available for
собственно,
Groove Coaster,
дедспада.
so most of this 3D geometry is handwritten and painstakingly pixel measured using Flash and just sort of hand timed by watching a YouTube video of the chart over and over again. I didn't make that sound like any fun at all, but I don't know, if you like just vibing and coding while listening to a cool song, that's something you could just do.
You just do that.
Yeah, these rhythms are so complex. And also, you know, Groove Coaster, just ad libs. Oh no!
Oh, a mine hit.
That was a mine, not an ad lib. Ooh.
Вот это, на удивление, опять же, тоже достаточно простая в
We didn't
чтении.
establish that in our contract.
Oh,
Карта.
true. I totally forgot about that as well. I just kind of assumed that Spooty would not hit any mines because he's a gamer.
$5 each mine.
No!
I'm
Hell, you're
down.
gonna kill me!
I thought we were gonna make it 10 because the miss is $1. You know?
Oh my god. Oh, that makes
only
sense
one mine.
actually.
Yeah, that makes 1,000 cents. That's a pickle, by the way.
Еще StepMania будет, она еще будет длиться
Just
40
comes in
минут.
and it's all
наверное.
distorted.
Shoutouts to all the other games that featured this song. I put the charts at the appropriate timestamps in the background of the music as well. And just before the end of the song, we have time for another donation.
All right, we have $5 from Zerla, who says, the kind of things the NotITG community has achieved is absolutely incredible.
Что могу сказать
Everyone there is
по
so supportive and
поводу
welcoming of new
всего этого?
players. Let's get that bonus incentive.
Горшочек же?
Friendly
Ладно, нет.
reminder to select which incentive you want when you're sending in your donations. We have just under $8,000 left, or just over $8,000 left to meet that incentive. We can do it, everyone.
So
Let's get it.
this is a collaboration file between Daiki and, or wow, I said myself, between me and Taranuk. Are you ready for the worst thing that you've ever seen?
Hold on to your pants.
Jumping right into things, this effect is a great example of hilarious effects where the playfields are visible for exactly 2 frames in the middle, and you need to look at that in order to read properly.
Yes,
A
the
quick
fact.
interlude references the white notes from
Хотя
Sayonara
нет, ладно,
Playing Wars
мне
for MBC2.
интересно.
This next
Забыли.
section is what we call smooth brainpower because of MPC2 file for brainpower that use sideways rotations like this. However, we made the rotation smooth, and they also rotate in the wrong way the second
Но
time around.
99% неподготовленных зрителей данного твича даже наблюдают за данным процессом уже
Oh,
худеют
here we go again.
из-за
Well, this is just
количества
a funny
движений
movement,
торсом
It
за
sounds
последний
like
час.
you're at a loss for what to say.
Shoutouts to My Hero Academia for the concept of the sprite coming into existence while the playfields are being tossed around like from cross-infection in MBC2.
Then you get Preserve Valkyria slides into Sayonara Planet Wars, big and small things, and then everything happens again, and it's spinning, and it's even worse the second time around somehow.
Shiawaze transition and some censored screen bounces along with more Preserve Valkyria slides.
Oh, this song goes too fast. But the ending is something else.
True. So you may notice that the song is actually continuing to speed even further up.
So, this final section, basically you need to watch the bottom and delay when you're hitting the notes because they slow down before they hit the receptors. However, the top half of the screen is being completely destroyed by a meme. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
And coming straight out of that, we have a 250 BPM 16th drill just in case you hadn't already failed.
And the Haunted Plus Ultra, which is an ultimate haunted house.
Thankfully, the ending fades out before all the arrows are hit, so hopefully the slowdown isn't too hard to time.
Oh, and now we're in the oh no.
I watched you people bounce that file back and forth, and I'm still exhausted.
So we go from
То, что
probably
вы
the
сейчас
rudest
будете,
song
это
in the pack to
на
the
грани добра и
rudest
зла,
sight
потому
read
что
in the
это
pack, which is
самой
seeing the file for the
жестокой,
first time is called
нечестной
sight read. It's a
секции
music
данного
notation
данного
term.
микса.
This is just a generally kind of incomprehensible sight read, I would say. And it's still possible if you're good, but I would say this is just on the border of fair in terms of what's actually possible.
This is rated 18 out of 20 on our difficulty scale. And then for a chance to see the 20, you know what to do. Get
Yeah,
them
we got
donations
time.
in for that bonus game.
Time
Do
for a
it quick.
donation?
Yeah, for sure. We have $5 from Kolobi.
После этого у нас ждет аж
Let's get
4
this bonus
композиции.
incentive met. I want to see the 20s. Can we get a $5 train? Let's go, everyone. We have just over $6,000 left to go. We are almost there.
Come on, let's get it.
Let's get it.
We're so
We've been
close.
pushing all marathon.
That,
We only have like 3 more songs? 4
Yeah.
after this.
Это бонус.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
white square in the top left is actually a bug. We call him Jeremy. You can ignore him. He's not hurting anyone.
Yeah. The only
He's just
person that's
vibing.
being hurt is the screen, which has been sliced in half.
With a hold sword. The sword effect is actually a hold.
Yeah,
hold that
like
comes
player
with
2's
slices.
long hold slices the screen in half. Is an effect I was super proud of, honestly. Just coming up with the idea, I felt like my brain expanded when I was like, you can use player 2's hold to slice the screen in half. Let's do it.
To some people in chat saying that this is memorized, it is not. People do read this level of mods, and we have an online tournament to prove that people can read stuff this hard. Oh, wow.
Right. We're gonna head straight into UKSRT's probably most threatening character. Another virus, this time a computer virus. Her name is Scold, and you are inside the computer, and that's not good. You should not be in a place with a virus.
Где взять
It's a
все
very,
такие
very
композиции из
violent
Экса?
mod file.
А
It is
что?
also an 18, but it's people consider this like a very high
Дядюшка
18,
Ветро
like this one's
расскажет
close to
вам.
19.
Гайд.
So
Шаг
we're
первый.
reaching the top
Находите,
end of what
в принципе,
difficulty
данную
looks like,
карту.
but this is
И вы не поверите, шаг второй, вы
It's
включаете
very-
любое
right.
приложение, которое
And we don't need
определяет
arrows anymore. We got
по
some
аудиозаписи
guitar hero
ее
notes, we got some
название.
pump notes. We got some
That
Taiko
super
arrow.
fast drill is really rough.
It is.
But bear in mind, it's not all violence. Like you gotta fit the song. A lot of these files are good about picking like the right times to have violent things happen, and the right times to have calming things happen. This is
This is
To an
calming.
extent.
Look at this. I'm so relaxed right now.
Daiki was
I'm sorry, Spooty.
Inspired by the people who think I can memorize a sequence of 18,000 steps. But my memory is that good.
I don't remember
What do you say,
what I
Brad?
had for breakfast this morning. Honestly. But yeah, let's get a donation quickly.
All right, we have
Да, у
$50
нас все еще
from
идет
Teddy Bear, who
сбор
is a
донатов
bear,
на
who says,
очень
"Can we get a quick
особо
check to make sure
сложную.
Spooty isn't going to catch fire?" Thanks,
I think
Teddy
that's.
Bear.
I
Это
think
сейчас
that's called Spooky Camp 2.
на
There's a
особо
file called
сложную
On
карту,
Fire, so that's where you'll want to look.
где, скажем так,
man,
сложность становится абсолютно на грани добра и
We
зла.
really are. Yeah, we only have like 3 songs left after this, I think.
And just
Two.
over just over $2,000 left to go, actually. So we are getting there. Let's
we can
go,
get there.
everyone.
Oh no, this is the finale medley. We gotta go, chat.
True.
This is the longest,
Рандер
the
читает,
longest file.
Yeah,
но
the
не чат.
longest file,
Рандер
though, it is a
читает
medley of 4 songs.
ноты.
It was a huge collab between everyone on the couch, me, Taranuk, and Hal.
Потому что вы вот
I
не
did
поверите,
this, first section with help with,
но кроме
Taro
StepMania
for
вот
getting
все
all
это
these
может
graphics
читать.
and rooms assembled.
Оно все,
But it looks
оно
like
может
we're just
воспринимать
going through
эти
some
ноты
endless
реально.
hallways. I'm not sure what's too special about a finale.
Они настолько хорошо уже
I see.
приловчились играть в
So,
эту
yeah,
игру, что вот
You
подобные
can do a lot with this
моменты,
engine,
которые
such as
нас
stringing
вводят в
how
заблуждение,
many playfields.
We should also mention this is purely
они
NotITG
просто
right here.
воспринимают
This is
как
NotITG.
This is peak NITG.
Yeah. And all these assets are also 2D
Не
as
самую
well.
простую
Like,
книгу, но
it's
все
just
же
a 3D
читаем.
environment with 2D assets. But oh my gosh, I could stare at this effect actually forever as it starts twisting
real.
around as you're moving through. Oh boy.
True.
It's so crazy how this came out. Like it's still like a
What's it
a
done?
staple in
Oh.
mods graphics today.
Quick shoutouts to Weatherfell Games, creator of The Duck and the Turtle, Marbles and Checkers.
Ну, то есть,
Peking Boo, who is the dance pad player you've probably seen at GDQ
по
before,
сути, все это
plays
книга,
games on a dance
только
pad. And these are
для
his
нас она
characters.
закрыта, для них
We're
она
friends with
просто
him, like,
на
I know him
другом
from
языке.
earlier. We both made StepMania things in the past, actually. And yeah, just support him
Yeah,
wherever you can.
they're-
He's making a
they're
game
just
with the
chilling there,
nerds. They're just-
play and go.
Oh my god, we are $1,500 away.
Oh, so close.
Да, на самом деле,
And
примерно
I
так
kinda
и
like
происходит
that.
Still
чтение
got a little time.
трактатов Славы
Thank you.
Жижика. Но это уже отдельная
Out
история.
of the frying pan and into the fire. Song 2, Halcyonics.
It's my section now. Those rhythms are bad. This section is the hardest section in the file, I think. It's a lot of context switching, a lot of really fast transitions and column swaps, a lot of really weird rhythms, and you just gotta kind of just deal with it. Receptors here are just trading their own receptors with each other. It's like what is even going on? You really got to be on your A game to follow in any of this, even as a top player.
Oil painting shader. Good stuff.
And this is where the real difficulty begins. I made this this mod with the intention of you having to read back into the Z-axis plane depth that the notes have, just enough so that you can chunk
Они
ahead
покажут
to not miss the
вещь.
transition, but it's still really hard.
Hey, everyone, I'm just going to interrupt really quickly to say our incentive is met.
Let's go! Let's go! We get to show the thing!
We get to show the thing!
The thing 46.
The thing!
We get to show the thing!
Они покажут
For the first
нечто
time.
особо сложное.
This is just the section earlier, but harder and water.
And
Hydration
water.
check, by the way.
Hydration check, sorry, Spooty.
Not for Spooty.
Oh. So, end of song 2, into song 3. This is my section. I am a very big fan of PlayStation graphics, PlayStation era, so we used a lot of game art tricks from the early PS2 era to make this very low file size, run quite efficiently. Go into a quick Archaea reference, shout outs to Loiro. You got the floor notes in the river and the sky notes in the air.
In the...
And now we have a particularly mean context switch where the arrows rotate into wrong directions as they go away from the beholder eye emblem in the middle. That is the villain's logo. And now they start to screen wrap. Just follow the eye. That is where you can see and where the arrows
There's
won't be
a
rotated.
crossover as well.
Что вы понимали, на англоязычной трансляции
Another transition into the worst gimmick
комментирует
you've ever
реальный
seen in your whole
профессионал,
life.
которые
And it just
действительно
tells you to
профессионалы
read it.
данной игры.
This file is a
И они
19,
объясняют
by
то,
the way.
что
This is what 19
данный
out of
гиммик
20 looks like.
карты,
Thanks to you guys,
что
we get to see the
происходит,
20s.
абсолютно
This
отвратительный.
gimmick is actually not super bad. Well, until it gets
is
super
super-
bad. No, it's pretty bad. It's pretty
I heard someone in chat
No
talking about
sugarcoating.
waterfall. Here's your waterfall.
And a
This-
forced double step.
This waterfall
Кстати, композиция подходит
is actually
под
inspired
скоро
by
к концу.
Melee's Congo Jungle stage.
Нас,
Turns out if you put a bunch of cylinders together
видимо,
and make them a
надежда на
little bumpy and
5000
start rotating them, it looks
все
like very, very
меньше и
convincing
меньше
water.
становится
That's all I'm
явью.
doing to make that water. It's
Скоро
not like
карта
I'm not like a
закончится
genius or anything.
полностью.
I just slapped some cylinders together.
And this clock
those-
simulation on the
15
pads.
тысяч.
Those
Yeah,
wires coming from Yinbao, the villain's wings, are an actual cloth simulation. I just felt like doing that. I'm just showing off at this point, but that's not ITG.
Aren't we all
It's
with this?
flexing.
You kind of got to do that for
Yep,
a final
hydration
stage
check.
like this.
Waterfall.
True.
Good luck timing this, by the way.
This part is just very strange rhythm as we head into Black Emperor by Chroma, the final song of this medley. And then we got a little bit of voice acting. Yeah, this whole thing was a really big... When this tournament actually ran, between the rounds we had voice acted and animated cutscenes actually at the time. So a lot of the stage is actually tied into the story, but we cut all the story elements for marathon purposes. You can watch all of them on my YouTube channel. Get all the playfields sucked into a black hole.
What the heck? Spooty has 1.6k combo going into the end?
Wait, did he combo the entire medley?
Oh
No,
my god!
it's not done yet.
He comboed the entire medley!
That's a medley
Spooty,
full combo.
What are you
the heck?
doing?
Once before.
Oh my gosh. First combo.
All right.
Oh, the game just crashed.
Oh no!
Okay, let me just boot it up. Let me just restart it real quick, and I'll just manually boot up the credit sequence.
All right, good
Oh
enough.
no, that means we don't get to see. That means
Так, там случились
we have
технические
to go in hand
неполадки.
with
donating-
judgments. to know
We're
how much to
donating
donate.
69.69.
We can do that. You can do that
Estimate
later.
says 69.69, wasn't it?
Oh,
I'm gonna pop in with a couple quick donations quickly while
Sure.
we set things back up.
Go right ahead. The game just does this, by the way. This is no problem.
that's never
So we-
happened before.
Спути
All right, so we have
крашнулась игра.
$50 from Kalaria, who says, "Let's get those 20s. Thanks, Spooty, for making and hosting the co-op tournaments over the years at Rumbles in the Prairie and being a wonderful community member in dance games, Necrodancer, and more."
Okay, so yeah, just one more song.
Не, но я считаю, что
Can
при
you share
краше
your
игры
screen
он
again
мог
as well?
добить свои 5000, поэтому я предлагаю отменить ставки.
We'll wait for that.
Oh. All right. Well, here are the credits. So, Hal did the MBC3 logo, which is a pretty obvious parody of the Sound Voltex 3 logo. Yeah. This whole project was a big collaboration. This song was a collab between Hal and I. This was played after the medley. Tarunuke and the winner, Telperion, got to sight read it live. We spent like a year to date on this project, and plenty of blood, sweat, tears went into this. So there was actually a lot that wasn't showcased. Plenty of voice-acted cutscenes that are all available on YouTube, a lot of art assets, and a couple extra files that will be available in the full download. So yeah, huge shout out to everyone who has had a hand in Mods Bootcamp 3, big or small. just a big passion project, and personally having this run in the
Собственно,
marathon is
здесь
really special.
вы можете
Especially
найти
this
название
song in
композиции.
particular. During development of this chart, my
Исполнителями.
grandfather was
Кто
diagnosed
спрашивал,
and quickly
вуаля.
passed away from cancer, actually. So, a lot of the feelings of the song definitely went into that, and I'm just so happy and honored, really, to be able to be a part of this cause, because it really means the world to me. Helping to be able to raise money for this cause. But yeah. Huge shout outs to Spooty for running this. He's still standing somehow. Shout outs to Taro and Hal, the big project buddies, and everyone who makes AGDQ possible. Really. Y'all amazing. Thanks so much. All information about NotITG is also available on our website, NotI.TG, NOTI.TG.
Время.
That includes game downloads and a link to our Discord. We're super friendly and welcoming towards people interested in playing or learning how to create content for this game.
We have new people coming in basically every day, trying to figure out how to play and how to make their own mods. So
Our server is ridiculously active, but don't worry, our moderation team is ridiculously competent. So,
And that can be time right there. Unfortunate game
Time.
crash there means we don't get to see my
Мы
overall stats
по-прежнему
for
имеем
marathon.
бонусный
But
ран.
We can
that
count
is
it.
the MBC3 showcase.
we'll find out how he did later, or it could just be a mistake. I mean, the runners never show their splits in the marathon runs, so it's a great parallel, I'd say.
All right.
We still- we do
Господин
have
модератор,
the
вы не
bonus.
правы, он
Yeah,
бы
you
набрал
get it
5000.
I do just want to touch on there was a quote shown in the credit sequence there that I know Taro really likes about when you stand on the shoulders of giants, you can see really far. And I just want to say that the non-ITG community has.
Да, к сожалению, статистика была потеряна в связи с тем, что у
build each
нас
other up and help each other out.
крашнулась игра под самый конец. Что, кстати, очень странно, потому что игра крайне стабильная, и с ней происходит подобное примерно никогда.
Indeed.
Let's go.
Anyway,
Wait,
everyone,
somebody say
thanks
there's
so much
bonus?
thanks so much for all the donations towards the bonus round. We will be playing some 20s and stuff in a little bit.
Yeah, so before we do that, we're just going to be reading a couple donations and taking a little break so that Spooty can also have a bit of a breather. Definitely deserved. All right, so we have a couple donations here. We have $1,000 from Anonymous, who says, "Can Spooty have a little breather as a treat?" And absolutely, especially for meeting this incentive because of all y'all, we can definitely give Spooty a little breather.
Так, а тема ждет. Бонусный забег.
All right, and we have $50 from D-Ron, who says, "Boy, howdy, do I love stepping on arrows. Let's see some more arrow stepping, but made difficult."
Сейчас раннер посидит
All
на
right, I know
стульчике
I'm
пару
really
минут,
excited for the bonus run. How about all of you? Okay, so
переведет
we
дух,
are going to be
отдышится
taking a short
и
break, so
покажет нам
hold
заново
tight, and we'll see you right after
уже
this.
экстра ультра брутал уровень, который просто взорвет не только наши мозги, но еще и его ноги. Я вижу, некоторые особо оценили физическое состояние раннера. Леол, это как бы объяснить? Это так. Это они на завтраке, с этого они рабочий день начинают. Они... Это разминочка была. А вот сейчас начнется десерт. Это мы сейчас отведали первое, второе, ланч. А вот теперь настало время десерта. Пытка, издевательство, унижение, кощунство. Все это нас ожидает в ближайшем будущем. Так. Вот, нам уже создали категорию на 15 минут. Extra hard charts. Особо сложные уровни.
I absolutely love the rhythm games at GDQ. Keep it up. All right, we have $50 from Deg, who says, my brain melted an hour ago, but I need more. Spooty is no normal human. Is this what it is to go even further beyond? Thank you so much for the donation. All right, now we are going to head over to Shout for a quick prize segment. Take it away, Shout.
Собственно, кто не знает, куда попал, AGDQ ежегодный марафон, который в формате 24 на 7 показывает спидраны игр. Но вы на данный момент попали в особое место. Это, так сказать, перерыв между спидранами. На данный момент у нас отдувается SpootyBiscuit в StepMania.
All right, thank you so much for that prize segment. We have a couple more donations before we hop into the bonus segment here. We have $250 from Kazara, who says,
Донаты уточняют для всех, что это Спути не наизусть выучил ноты. Это просто он настолько хорош. Самое смешное, что это реально правда. Он реально настолько хорош, что может ориентироваться настолько хорошо в нотах, что у нас сейчас происходили на экране.
All right, so it sounds like we are ready for the extra hard chart. So let's go check out this bonus incentive. We'll see you over there. Take it away again, Spooty.
All right, everyone, again, thank you so much for all the support. Both first in getting the game into the block, into the schedule, and then getting this bonus block enabled. So, yeah, as was mentioned before, mods are rated on a 20-point scale, and we only saw up to 19s. So we'll be seeing some 20s in this block, and some other very hard, like, upper end 18, 19, 20. And some of you may have seen me mention before that I had some surprises in store for the bonus block.
Мы играем 19. Легендарный убийца ног.
So we're gonna be starting with Doppelganger, which is another file by Taro. But hey, guess what, Taro? We're playing the 19.
What? No. What do you mean we're playing the 19?
19 to this chart.
19 известен как часть, как предфинальная карта одного из турниров старых на которую жаловались примерно все, потому что оттарабанить это на грани невозможного. Не так много людей, кто смогли ее просто пройти, хоть за какое-то, имея хоть какое-то приличное комбо. И, собственно, Спути хочет нам показать 19-ю.
You'll notice that of the 4 playfields on screen, one of them will be brightly lit and the others will be black. The one which is lit is actually moving around the screen in a clockwise direction, and you have to follow it. Otherwise, you'll end up stuck reading a playfield that doesn't have any meaningful information on it, as the receptors are sort of disappeared into the ether. So you gotta just keep moving your eyes around the screen.
Вот здесь даже самый гиммик максимально ополчен против игрока, потому что вам не просто надо правильно прочитать ноды, вам еще надо сориентироваться, какие из них были перевернуты на этих сферах. Вам надо запомнить, какие поворачиваются, и от этого уже менять в своей голове восприятие полностью зеркальное.
Switching between reading the near portal and the far portal. Otherwise, you're going to end up looking at a playfield that doesn't actually have any arrows on it at all.
It's Spooty action at a distance.
Spooty action at a distance. And we go into the references. Lots of references to stuff we've already seen. So we got the background from Voltex Taiso. We got Boku no Hero Academia. We got Hymn. We got an RPG that you didn't see. You got the bumpies from Juggle.
Важное уточнение.
Quick minigame, you know.
Спути наизусть не знает. Он просто читает эти ноты.
Oh no, you forgot to install Counter-Strike Source! So now, I put a bunch of playfields together. Some of them will actually freeze and turn white, because, you know, Windows is kind of unreliable sometimes.
You have your Battle.net
где ноты надо будет читать буквально.
You need a Bethesda account to view the next 3 notes.
Так сказать, только ждет.
Now you have to literally read the notes. This is probably the funniest gimmick I've ever written. You literally just gotta read it. Don't know what to say about it other than you just read it.
That was just a bunch of words.
Очень забавный
This
гиммик.
file is
Жаль,
incredibly complicated to commentate. So much happens so fast. This is an atom. You just kind of first in, first out cue this. Like the first arrow that appears is the first arrow that you
то,
hit.
что сейчас
Just gotta keep track of that.
Каждая нота
Now,
имеет свою орбиту.
We're moving on to a section I call Hell Orbs.
Правильно сообразить, на какой орбите находится нужная нота, и зависеть от этого выбирать темп.
Literally a demo scene thing I created. It uses a domain repetition to make an infinitely scrolling 3D scene with playfields on each orb. Spooty has to keep darting his vision between the orbs.
Именно поэтому 19-й считается пыткой.
So by the time they get too scrungly, the main one has
слишком
appeared in the
много,
middle again.
они все
Spooty can go back
слишком
to reading
разнообразные.
that. We get punched out of there.
И требует от тебя не только понимания того, как эту ноту читать, а также запоминание некоторых деталей.
Independent shader applied to the notes themselves. It's making them move in this kind of really wiggly, melty way. But let's cool off. Dunked in the water again. Remember that breaks are kinda important. As he the boy menacingly walks towards us for the final section of the song. This is a really intense
не включенный режим OSU No Death. Здесь можно,
but the chart is just so
так сказать,
dense and
проиграть.
really going at
И он не проиграл в прошлый раз.
I did not expect him to be playing the 19. I don't have words for
И он не проигрывает до
this is
сих
so
пор.
much harder than what was originally planned for the bonus block, and he hasn't failed.
Успешно пройти.
Hello?
Не так много людей вообще, кто мог
I think he's the
пройти
first person in
19.
the world to pad past that.
И большинство даже не знает, что это вообще
People
возможно.
87. This is a first in the world, like pad
What is
pass.
wrong with you?
First documented, I have a 92 on it.
What do you mean you have a 92 on it? I've never seen anyone pass this before. I've never seen anyone pass this before.
I would like some proof, mister.
Let's see that
Но
metrics.
вы бы слышали хайп, который творится на англоязычной трансляции. Все в шоке, что 19-е пройдено, что она проходима. и
It's a
что
lot of chaotic
Спути
energy.
осмелился
But
пройти
we're gonna be
его.
moving on to our first 20.
Without the.
Yeah, no jump scare. No jump scare.
Oh yeah. I'll be nice to you, Chad. I won't jump scare you. We'll play the no jump scare version. So
That was a 19. It's time for a 20.
Really intense. 210 BPM, 16 first. That's generally
that's a
faster
sure.
than I can move, so I'm gonna have to focus real hard on this.
Чуть меньше
This is
10
too
минут.
serious time.
But anyway, this is the final by K Puma, so someone outside the NBC3 crew. Happy to give
У
other
Спути
folks outside of
есть еще
the
все.
commentator crew. Here's some rep. I'll let them take it
20-е.
for now, 'cause I'm gonna need to focus.
No jump scare
Ready
версия.
for breathtaking graphics.
Что ж,
like K-Pop
во-первых,
does such
поздравляю.
incredible work on their aesthetics. in the
Сердечный
file,
приступ
and
у
it
вас
just all
не
comes
будет
together in
от
such
джампскеров.
a good
Не та
show.
карта.
Like I
И
mentioned in
мы получаем
Cloud9
20-ку.
during NBC3.
Карта, которая как бы
visuals in the
сложнее
game can get
19, но хоть имеет
insane,
более человеческие
depending on
гиммики.
what you want to do. This is like full capability of what NotITG can do.
Профессионалы не могут...
Yeah, it has everything. It
Нормально
has
читать
shaders,
двадцатку.
it has sprites, it has
20-ка не
like
предназначалась для
animated
того, чтобы ее
textures, it has a
кто-то читал.
visualizer in the background done with some
3D models, dude.
handwritten geometry, the water reflection of the moon. And it's really, really hard. I
Мне
can't read
нравится,
this at
что на
all.
стриме появилась плашка о том,
There were
что...
no real
Внимание,
like,
данная игра
20s that
содержит
the community like canon
вспышки
agreed were
света.
20s. It mostly just stopped
Будьте
at
осторожны.
19. But I would be pretty happy with calling this the first official NotITG 20. I think it's earned it. It's not only really hard, but it's also really fairly designed, I would say.
Keep in mind that this is a much harder chart than it is intended. The intended chart is, I think, 17 around there. I didn't
Значит,
get
у меня
there.
глаз так замылся, что я уже не
But
обращаю
this is
внимания на это.
Introduces
a much
tech.
harder chart.
Ну что ж,
Wanna talk about the tech?
Like that
горшочек жар нет.
You want to talk about the
giant
tech?
down
Like,
syncopated jack.
Yeah, so there's now some things called foot switches, which people usually only have in tech charts, not in mods, because those are really hard to parse while you're doing mods, where you press the one arrow with one foot, and then you press the same arrow with your other foot, so you can hit one note really fast, like a down arrow. And those mines are also forcing you to take your foot off the note that you just pressed.
Чтобы вы
to
понимали,
instead hit a different note, and it's marking that
сейчас
specific.
речь о том, что
There's so many technical
Спути.
elements that generally don't make it into mod charts that this thing has.
Yeah, there were a bunch of records before too.
it's
должен
also just
делать
incredibly
по 3
fast. Like,
шага
I
в
feel like
секунду.
I've already said this, but it's
180
220
шагов в
BPM,
минуту.
people. That's 14.3
Если
steps
посмотрите
per
на то, что
second.
творится
It's
слева,
very,
на
very
ногах,
fast.
It's very a lot. Also, this game design of bringing back all of the
Первое
previous
остановись.
environments that were shown in the file in this way. Like, what the heck?
You can kind of like look at one of the strips if you're good.
One of the chicken strips.
Do you wanna get a quick donation in?
Ooh.
I can if you'd like.
Yep.
Sure. We have
я не
$100
могу
from
сделать
Evan who
местный
says,
фетиш, и я могу сделать
"Spooty
себя
is
покруче.
not
Ну так
human.
вот.
We are not worthy. Thank you, Evan. It's true.
Посмотрите,
Oh,
что
that's a pass.
просто
Oh my God, I
происходит
think
слева.
that's a pass.
I could tell that was getting a little
какие
bit hairy
колодцы,
life bar
считайте,
wise. Remember what
бьется
Hal said
Спути.
earlier? 10 misses is a fail. 10 consecutive misses is a fail, and you need 10 combo to get your life bar back once it starts going down. So,
И сейчас
You just-
Спути
just
находится
cleared
на
that on command.
We
грани.
have a dicey run.
На очень тонкой грани,
Ooh, that's a
что
pass.
если он,
Look at the barely.
он под конец был близок к тому, чтобы зафейлить карту. Если он допустил
If I do say so
ошибку,
myself. That looks like
Еще хоть
that's-
раз.
barely, I believe, means less than 10% health left.
карту
Yeah, another miss at
пришлось
that point will
бы
fail you.
проходить заново.
So you're one miss away from failing 2 times in a row.
That's nutty.
Ooh, man, it's getting spicy in here.
And I would also like to point out that most players tend to have a bar behind their pad that they hold on to for external support, and also so that they can play faster things a little bit more easy. Spooty's doing this all without that. Like, he's relying on his balance and foot speed alone.
So,
Even
I need a
that
break.
is
I need
impressive.
to play something a little easier, and this is really exciting for me to play for another reason. So this is the 46th file in Mods Bootcamp 3.
New DLC?
New DLC.
This has not been seen outside of the people in the booth right now. So we're gonna be debuting some new content for y'all. Let's go.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
It's Joe.
И, собственно, вот мы, скорее всего, это последняя карта для StepMania у нас на сегодня. На текущий стрим. Далее нас наконец-то Спути после этого сможет успокоиться. Я не уверен, сможет ли он в ближайшую неделю после этого стримить полноценно. Ибо его ноги... Я так подозреваю, что только что побежали 1,5 марафона за этот стрим.
There was a gimmick earlier that used the notes that once you hit them, they actually came back to haunt you in a different playfield. This, however, is a callback to a couple Windu stuff, actually. This is from Pet Peeve from Mods Bootcamp 1, where the playfields are... You can see exactly where the arrows are. They're just alternating what's being shown at any given time. And then we'll see a little bit of the return of those notes that come back. You'll be able to see this pretty clearly, where the notes will flow right into the next time they need to be hit. Shoutouts. People who know what this are will know what this are.
Yeah, that is a direct shout out. I want to see Terry's reaction.
I want to see what Terry's saying about this.
I do as well.
Bit of a silly love callback in the background there.
You might notice those notes in the background that are continuing to spiral around menacingly. Oh.
Nothing like getting punched in the face a bunch of times to end a file.
What do you mean you full comboed it? What do you mean?
Zero, самое большое комбо, которое мы насчитали на основном ране, 4674.
Alright, with that, I've got one more surprise in store here.
Wait, a surprise?
So, I'm sure Daiki especially noticed that during the marathon, we skipped right past a...
Oh, no,
Да, это было в начале рана, а далее, собственно, начала сказываться усталость и то, что сложность нарастала. И опять же, по ходу основного рана имеются абсолютно нечестные секции, где не уронить темп практически невозможно. 22. Большинство людей никогда это не прошли. Вот комментаторы, которые являются профессиональными игроками в StepMania, ни разу не прошли 22. И сейчас мы увидим 22 в исполнении Спути.
What even comes after 20? 22 is not after 20. There's another number there.
I have never passed this. I have never passed this. I kind of assumed it was a joke.
But yeah.
We're getting into the run where mods are getting so hard.
Буквально, что говорят комментаторы? Почему ты умудряешься здесь сохранять какое-то комбо? Это противозаконно. Комбо на 22 противозаконно.
That's actually perfect. Why are you comboing this? This is not allowed.
He's comboing it.
Перед вашими глазами творится история. Человек живой умудряется делать комбо и проходить 22-ю карту StepMania.
What is wrong with you?
Those bursts.
I have not seen this in so long.
Oh my god, I have.
И опять же, самое ужасное. это буквально он читает, он это не выучил наизусть, он читает это в реальном времени, что жать.
Yeah, we have to.
To be hard. Oh,
It's
Yeah, we have to
honestly
iterate
kind of a
that these charts are not the intended difficulty. They are not the intended difficulty.
I don't know if that's a pass with those mines.
It's not even a. That's a comfortable life bar. It's not even close.
И он только что пошел 22.
Yeah, no, Spooty is doing
Что
this.
ж.
Spooty did not tell us that he was able to do this. This is a surprise for us too.
You want to know something really funny?
What?
No.
I have a 92 on this too.
What do you,
Ну, надеюсь, на 22 он установится.
are we gonna have to start introducing 20s into the actual meta of the game?
I just walked away from his computer.
All right.
Oh my.
So,
Окей, нас ждет еще одна композиция на 2 минуты, которая будет попроще.
like,
One?
there's one more song I want to do. I'm considering if I should do like something a little easier to space it out.
Oh right, yeah. No, he said one more, but with something a little easier to space it out in before it.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
it's like 2-minute song. And okay.
Важное уточнение. Это, собственно, сам Спути запросил, чтобы еще одну композицию дать ему поиграть. 2-минутную. Не такую сложную, но он хочет ее нам показать.
Um, I'm just doing it because I need something easier before we go into our grand finale.
We found the 23rd.
This
But I
file
want to kind of keep myself moving.
Он хочет показать 14.
is what happens when you know how to write shaders.
Very pretty file.
Yes, FMS Cat, the person we mentioned a little earlier, is the person that actually was a well-known demo scener from Japan. He came second at Tokyo Demo Fest at one point, so that's a pretty big deal. They randomly walked up to us and went, "Yo, can I implement shaders in your game? I haven't written C++ before, so it might be a little bit rough." And then they disappeared into the codebase for like 3 days, and then it was just done.
And then the trend was immediately set.
Yeah, and then they make content like this, which is
Like
It's-
how?
it is a
Actually,
visual
how?
masterpiece. Lots of references to DJ Max. Lots of very shiny content. That look at that, the neon arrows.
I'm like
The
always
rain-
breathless when I look at this file. It's so beautiful.
Any of their files are really
glowy
just,
paths.
it's just an absurd spectacle. And Cube.
The
Reference
shade
to the-
cube is
Cube makes a return, but it's a little bit more wonky.
The cube that we saw in Onishan High Tech is back, except now it looks like it came from the year 3000.
Вот сейчас, что вы наблюдаете, это гораздо позже то, что было до этого. Но этот, скажем так,
And it could be yours for the price of $0.00. You can download this game right now.
это гораздо позже. Но это, по мнению Спути, является идеальным завершением его блока для
Ridiculous
ГДК.
content like this. There's lots of easier stuff. Spooty actually recently made a bunch of easier content just today for like easier versions of lots of mods charts from Mods Bootcamp 1. So newcomers will have things to sink their teeth into. The charts aren't that hard. The mods.
There's a decently sized pool for any player.
Он еще одну захотел.
I'm feeling a lot better after taking it easier with that one.
that one easier. Yep.
That one.
I'm watching chat.
Definitely.
I'm watching chat to see everyone who is
Thanks for humoring
angry
me,
at that
and
statement.
letting me have the extra song just to kind of catch my breath there.
Остановите человека.
Having me sit around for a second, for a minute, you know. All right, so we're gonna go into our grand finale of this bonus block.
Человек не знает усталости.
19 earlier, but community consensus seems to be that this
Гранд-финале.
Yes.
Всего лишь 20-ка. Цитата Спути.
the 20 to that and the 22 to Live Fruit Defendu. This one, which are, you know, those two are very based on having extremely dense and fast steps. This one is all about the mods. The mods
Феникс,
are just
20-ка.
really hard to read.
Всего лишь.
And I figured this is a proper send-off for the
Гранд-финале.
You know, shouts to the Yeti for this t-shirt block. The aesthetic on this song matches the aesthetic of this shirt exactly.
Представьте себе, по сути,
And it's
босс-раш.
also gonna have the references to a lot of previous bosses.
Чтобы вы понимали, зачем он все это делает, он отыгрывает коленные чешечки всех своих друзей, которые в этом ГДК их успели потерять. Каждая коленная чешечка, которую его товарищи потеряли, он каждую из них отыграет обратно.
Pretty much.
It's not ITG the
We're
file.
basically just going to be going through references after references here. So this is Lux Mortis from NJSRT by Searing. You can already tell the difficulty's already way up.
Yep. Hell?
This song slaps, by the way.
Oh, hell. Check the document. This is Cosmic Railroad by Exwasion.
Right, we go straight into the coin, the worst gimmick you've ever seen in your life. Mods Bootcamp 3 by Taro, which is me.
Опять мы встречаем то, что все называют худшим гиммиком за всю историю игры.
So we saw that a bunch of his files like Snow Motion and Dark Matter earlier. Yeah, just a normal.
Fairly normal transition.
That's right.
Transition straight into Tang Pong, which was a collab between me and Kurokuro from UKSRT 8 in 2016. And we transition straight from that into the Gap Medley.
Что такое гиммик? Гиммик — это, грубо говоря, правило, по которому данные ноты будут отображаться в случае этой игры. То есть, скажем так, список правил, назовем это так. То есть закономерностями назвать нельзя, потому что тут все же более уместно слово правило. Вот это я понимаю шоу-кейс.
The arrow stage before they reach the targets. You gotta watch out. This goes into the Sky of Sadness, which was the extra stage from UKSRT 7. And straight from... Oh, you gotta watch out for the one that starts rotated. Straight from there into Dragon Lady, which is the final round of UKSRT 1. And then the repeated arrows from HBT.
This is a Kai Dash mashup, Fault plus Camera Ice plus Undiscardable, all at once. It's just a mess.
Dude! Back into Doppelganger with the Whibbery Sphere. You got a
big old lateral.
We get a little break. It's Disparagioia from Celestial Harbor that I did.
Mm-hmm.
It's a break until this happens right here.
Fun fact, Celestial Harbor was the first tournament to have online capabilities.
True.
So that people at home could play the stages.
Вот здесь уже большинство не понимает, как читать.
Which was just played in the Mods Bootcamp 3 exhibition. And then it flips upside down. This part I literally just can't read. I just don't know what's going on here. I just don't play this file for that reason.
Does Spooty still have a full combo?
Probably not. We transition out of that into him from, which was the first tier 4 that was played in the marathon. This is a complete break, which is great.
And then we have Nisemono from Monster Mash 3, which is a huge 7-person collab that
with an original song by Frums.
Original song by Frums. Shout outs to Frums.
A single clap emoji for me. I'll count you in.
Yep.
Oh.
Get ready to clap. One clap, chat.
3, 2.
Exactly 1.
2, 1.
Boom. Absurd gaff by Windu plus Pieces of a Dream at the same time.
Yeah, this section is just so much if you're not ready for it. Then it transitions into Matoi and Golden Rule. So Matoi being the extra stage of UKSRT 8, and Golden Rule being the first part of the last round of UKSRT 9.
И под конец дроп.
MBC 3, which we did just see. That was the really mean one with Jeremy. And censored from MBC 2 before closing off dramatically and climactically with a little bit of a speech from our vocalist.
И на этом теперь все. Это все, что Спути нам подготовил на этот марафон.
93!
Single digit miss.
SPCB.
Look at that combo! Almost 800 in the middle of it.
All right.
Woo! Time.
And that does it.
That's all I've got for you guys tonight. Thank you again so much for donating to get this game into the marathon, and then again for the bonus block, where I just really pushed myself to the limit there. 210 BPM 16s, and they're fast. Just want to give shout outs again to the UK SRT and NotITG crowd. It's been no secret the last couple of years have been rough on a lot of us, but
Сейчас Спути
given to me by a lot of the
делает шатауты всех
helped me take care of myself in terms of getting my physical exercise in while I'm cooped up at home.
тех, кто помог, кто комментировал англоязычную трансляцию. Также он сказал спасибо тому, кто предоставил ему данный дэнспад.
Definitely a step up from the pads I was using before, and obviously works.
Very sturdy for the
thanks
price as
again
well.
to the three of you for joining me in commentary.
No problem. As soon as you guys contacted me saying, "Hey, we might be on AGDQ," I was like, "Yes, I am on the couch for that."
And
super honored to be here.
Taro mentioned it a couple songs ago, but my last surprise for this scene, as I close out the vlog, is that last night I chugged through all of the first Mods Bootcamp pack and added new easy charts. They are charts that are much, much, much less dense than anything you saw here. So if learning how to play this style of game looks like your cup of tea, there's a great new pack that's open for you guys, with newer, easier files. Because previously, there was kind of a barrier of entry to mod files of you have to have played a lot of DDR and you have to have built up a lot of patterns and be able to handle like eighth notes and such. So I hope this helps lower the barrier of entry and get some more people into it if you're interested. But once again, thank you so much. Shout outs to GDQ for having us. Thanks so much, and thanks for all your support for this great cause. I hope to see you guys again sometime on this stage. Any last comments, guys?
I would like to say shout outs to my two nephews, Taro and Theo, who are probably watching right now. I also want to say trans rights. Anything else?
No, I'm just speechless. That just happened.
Yep, trans rights, and also once again, you can actually go and play this yourself at NotITG, NOTI.TG. Sorry,
Come on over if you want to play.
It's a little bit slow.
Free to download
Что ж, теперь нас ждет интерлюдия, после которой раннеры подойдут на Хейдес. Я, пожалуй, вас на этой ноте покину и не буду вам мешать слушать Daily Recap. А после, я надеюсь, к вам все же присоединится